And welcome back, and we're now at part 3 of this week's new comics, bitches! So, let's hit up some DC, shall we? So we've got the Flash number 4. We get a little more insight into Miguel and into Mob Rule. What's going on there? We are also treated to some really terrific storytelling and some really terrific art. Francis Manapul has done some just outstanding work with the Flash here. Brian, God, I keep forgetting his last name. Or not forgetting it, it's just I don't know if I can ever pronounce it correctly. That's somewhere around here. Where are you? Flash, come to me. There you are. Brian Buccellato. That's it. So anyway, but with this tale, we have a lot of stuff going on with with him and with these kind of the origins of Manuel and what he's been doing, and how these clones of his are dying, and they essentially need him. And we have this, we have these two women. We have Iris West, and we have the other girl whose name I can never remember, but I like her. She's a really interesting character. And of course we have the Flash. We have Barry, who survived that seemingly fatal gunshot from the last one, but as it happened, he of course vibrated his molecules and the bullet passed through, but he hit his head. And of course, on the steel door, and that knocked him out, and a little blood came out. So I think that gave them enough reason to think that he was dead. And just the exploration of Flash's new kind of perception, that his brain can work at super speed as well, is something that is really fascinating to me. But we can see in this issue kind of the drawbacks of that. So these women in these different situations. One of them with, the one who's kind of currently with Barry, and then we have Iris, who is not, but maybe in the future. Again, I don't know exactly when this book is supposed to take place during, but again, these are well-told, breezy stories. They're nice and light. They never get really too heavy. This book does get kind of heavy, but it's never getting too heavy, and they always leave off some pretty good, some pretty damn good cliffhangers. So, again, Francis Manapul and Brian Buccellato, they're doing a terrific job on the Flash. Really, 4 out of 5 for the Flash number 4, easy. AQUAMAN number 4. Again, Johns and Ivan Reis continue to bring their A game to AQUAMAN. That's just what they're doing. They're just pulling out all the stops. They're making it fresh. They're making it fun. They're making it interesting. They're making it dangerous. They're making it exciting. They're making it tense. It's really everything that Johns is about, and it's these moments that make John's series so good, when he really steps up and brings everything to the plate. It's lacking from Johns' other titles right now, from Green Lantern and sadly from Justice League. Again, some terrific, intense moments here as they fight the creatures of the trench and the big mama creature. It takes a look at some kind of murkier moral questions as well. Essentially, what Arthur sets out to do here is to save the people that were taken for food, but also to essentially causing the extinction of this race of beings, no matter what they may be, evil or just simply acting on a biological imperative that they get food to eat. It's something that threatens the surface world. And, in the old, this would not be too huge of a concern of Aquaman, but here, he's decided to pull up his aquatic stumps and be on land. And that's where he's going to make his home, him and Mira. They're going to be landlubbers. So, and that's it's interesting to see, it's very interesting to see Aquaman in this place. And that's what's, again, making this title very fresh and very new for people who aren't even necessarily fans of Aquaman. And if they're not, they really should be by this point, because this is definitely Geoff Johns' best work of the New 52. I mean, without a doubt. And, the relationship between Mira and Arthur is it's terrific. I love their interplay. I love how well they know each other. I love how much they love each other and respect each other. And they have Aquadog, and that's, again, just a little bit more pokes at, at Aquaman and his status as a superhero. But we do have that one moment, that great moment in this issue where, the young man says, the young boy says, "You're my favorite superhero." And that's just, it's a really, it's a very, can't think of the right word, but it's a very telling moment of the purpose of this comic, to make Aquaman more relevant and to make him cooler than we've seen him in previous time. So this is a 4.5 out of 5, easy for this book. We're ending this first arc, and what's coming up, we see some hints in in this particular issue, but just overall really good stuff. All-Star Western number 4, and we have Jonah and Amadeus Arkham, teaming up again to find a missing child. What's so interesting about this particular, this kind of new. It's not the same arc. It's obviously not the same villains. Or maybe not. Maybe it is. Who knows? People who, kind of worship the crime Bible. But what's really very interesting about the series is how they've given the audience's voice. Essentially, is we're seeing all of this through Amadeus Arkham's eyes. And he provides the narration, and he provides these really fascinating insights into Hex's character and his abilities, not just as a brawler, fighter, or his efficiency there, but also his investigative techniques. That he is something of kind of a almost born detective, which is a really interesting take on Jonah Hex, something I've never seen before, really, out of him. But admittedly, I haven't read a whole lot of Jonah Hex, so I have to admit that right there up front. And Moritat, does some more great art. What I'd like to see, perhaps, at least maybe casually, is a mention or a glimpse at Mad Dog, the killer who eventually will kill Amadeus Arkham's wife and child, that ultimately causes him to lose his mind and leads to the famous Grant Morrison Arkham Asylum tale. The B story, the Barbary Ghost, with basically the Chinese immigrants of the Old West, and this new character here, this female, almost apparition-like fighter that is brought into life by Gray and Palmiotti and Phil Winslade as the artist. That was a really terrific story as well. I'm really enjoying the B stories that they put into the All-Star Western issues here. This is really good stuff. It's worth the $3.99. So I mean, I'm very happy that they're doing that. So it's a cool story. I'm really looking forward to more out of it. So this was, again, another 4 out of 5. Really good tale. Glad to see it. Well, we'll do one more here. Avengers Solo, number 3. I'm a little disappointed. This was about 2.5 out of 5. Hawkeye's such a cool character, and I just don't think that this particular title is really doing him justice. The story itself is really confusing. I'm not really sure where they're intending to go here. I like the fact that we've got someone like the Trapster involved in this. I like the fact that we've got someone like Chance involved in this, because Chance is a pretty cool villain, and Trapster is just kind of a fun villain. But it's just, and there are some interesting moments, but it's just getting lost and confused with everything that seems to be going on here. The trading of the suit and who's wearing it and what exactly this is all supposed to be about. I mean, I'm not even really sure. It's like one of those things, like I read it twice, and I'm still like, I don't get it. I don't really see what's going on here, other than it seems like that they're trying to to produce artificially superhumans, and they seem to be using Cap's likeness, Captain America's likeness, to do this. And of course, that brings a lot of, that could bring a lot of unwanted attention, and certainly nothing good can come of that. And as Hawkeye believes, that this is something that it's not going to be good for Cap. Now, another thing here that's a little confusing is that we have Hawkeye in his more famous suit. Again, it's a suit design that I love, but in recent issues of other comics, he has a more modernized suit. And so I'm just wondering, the suit itself seems to be a little bit more pronounced, I guess. And I'm not a huge fan of that. So I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, Jim McCann, who did the Hawkeye and Mockingbird miniseries, who did Widowmaker, did the Hawkeye Blind Shot minis. These were all really good stories. He has just a much better handle on this character than I think that Jen Van Meter does. And that's not Van Meter's fault, per se, but it's just, I don't think this is even a series that, this is something, if Jim McCann were doing it, this would be like, oh, well, it would be probably a lot different, and it would probably be a lot better. So this is, like I said, it's about 2.5 out of 5. It's just a little bit too confusing. There's just too much seems to be going on, and not in a good way. So enough. Sorry, this damn phone's on vibrate. My wife's phone. She gets a lot of words with friends crap. So I don't do that shit. So, but anyway. So stay tuned. We've still got a lot of ground to cover, so stick around. More fun.